Okay, and now it's time to bring back a fan favorite segment of the show, Retail Razor Data Blades, where we talk real-world numbers and slice through measurable consumer insights based on research at the point of sale. And bringing us that slicing and dicing of data is Georgina Nelson, CEO of TruRating.
TruRating is helping retailers hear directly from validated shoppers daily and recently hit a major milestone of 500 million responses. Retailers using TruRating average 80% response rates on questions asked. And it's done just by asking a single rotating question directly on the POS pin pad, making it a seamless part of the shopper's checkout experience.
TruRating also works with their retail partners to develop consumer insights reports by running questions on an industry topic or theme. These anonymous responses are linked to metrics such as basket size and repeat visits to produce industry-changing insights, just like the ones Georgina is going to share with us today.
Welcome, Georgina.
Thank you. Thrilled to be here with you both today.
So today's Retail Razor Data Blades topic is the strategic advantage of well-informed store teams. Georgina, let's dive in.
Thank you. So I thought I'd touch today on the success story of one of our retail clients who is a global sporting goods retailer, which for me highlights a real fundamental principle in retail, basically the advantage of well-informed store teams. So in their stores, shoppers were asked, did the staff give you several product options? So on average, across all of their stores, 90% of shoppers answered yes. And the result, which they saw, was an impressive 27% increase in average shopper spend. And so essentially, what this really tells us is well-informed store teams have the ability to offer customers a real diverse range of product choices based on the needs of each shopper. And ultimately, this creates an atmosphere of personalization. So shoppers really feel that their preferences are generally understood and valued. So store teams can suggest complementary products through cross-selling, or they can nudge customers to more expensive premium options through upselling. And so we found that when customers feel that a store team really understands their needs and offers these tailored suggestions, they're ultimately more likely to consider additional items and higher end alternatives. And so ultimately that leads to higher overall purchase values. And that's what we saw with our sports retailer. And ultimately it's not just all about the bottom line and sales. Really an informed store team can create that holistic shopping experience, which we all love, and which when we walk into a store and speak to a store associate, we really feel resonates with us as a brand. And in this competitive retail landscape, I really believe that this type of personalized approach sets retailers apart.
It's been so difficult for store teams to get that type of information to corporate, right? Or managers know how often that they're talking to customers, sales associates, they feel that they have impact into the sales. They know that they've cross-sold. They know that they've been helping customers all day. But this is just such a great way to prove on the transaction level that these sales associates are increasing sales. They're increasing AUR. They literally are part of the bottom line. So I think this is just very, very exciting to see, because so rarely is that type of a question, in my opinion, make it to corporate.
And in such a nice definitive way, right? I think I really love this proof
There's
point.
no gray area.
Yeah, exactly. It's not gray, right? It's very clear what the impact is. And I mean, we've always sort of had, I guess I have to call it a cliche, right? That when everyone says, oh, your frontline store teams are the face of your retail brand. And so many retail executives will say that, but they say it loosely without really having something to back it up. And this provides that proof point that says, no, there is an absolute tangible impact to having that well-informed team. And I think this trickles back. If I'm the retailer seeing this point, this should be telling me, oh, well, that means my store team, they must have been, not only are they well-informed, that means they've done the training, right? So maybe this speaks to the effectiveness of sales training that we've had and product training that we've had, because there was a measurable sales increase from customers that had interaction engagement with that staff member. So it's yet another validation point that says maybe it does make sense after all that we invest in those store team members to help make them better at what they do, and it is reflected back in our sales data.
Exactly. I think, what's really important is once you see this kind of stat, it's a higher level. Actually, it's about drilling it down to what is happening on each of those stores. So when we talk about that overall average, 90%, which is phenomenal, when we actually get down to it in all our retailers, as you'll expect, there's execution gaps. There's some stores which are executing on that strategy really well and others which are lagging behind. And you can even see the difference when the store manager is on their off day, for example. These things can lapse. And so it's really putting into the hands of the regional managers and the store managers themselves, all the way up to corporate, the view of how that strategy has been executed at a store level across the course of a day. And so you can say to a particular store, we can see that we're losing X amount of revenue because simply your teams aren't doing the upsell. They're not looking at cross-sell opportunities. And we need to give you some more coaching to get you up to speed.
Yeah, I would even challenge that a store that would have 90% yes would probably have less turnover and probably have a great game. If it was 90% no, probably have a very high turnover and your store manager is not engaging your associates and they're not really a cohesive team. I mean, this could into several other divisions to really communicate how is a nice little health check.
Yeah, exactly. And when we speak to managers within retail, I think so much previously they're managing on gut. It's my gut sense that this team, we've got problems, we've got issues maybe, and having customers, all your customers being essentially a mystery shopper. And providing this data just takes the emotion and the heat out of it. It's like, everyone, look, this is what our customers are saying. We're all aligned. This is, let's take action. And it means the store teams can trust the data and corporate trust the data. And that means everyone's aligned on actionability.
Oh my gosh, brought back deja vu there. I just had a flashback of, oh my God, I have a secret shop coming in this quarter. Every day it's just like, oh my God, is that them? Is that them? I remember those moments. Now it happens at every single checkout.
Yes.
Well,
That's the beauty.
Isn't there also a factor here about tracking customer repeat visits? I know that the questions are done anonymously, but because you are mapping against point of sale data, right? I'm assuming there's an ability you can help a retailer track this as a lifetime customer value metric.
Yeah, exactly. So, not only is there that I'm going to spend more in the moment, you're persuading me to get those more expensive trainers, for example, but that impact of that personalization and that consultative sale means I'm more likely to come back. So yeah, that's definitely what we look at as well.
It's very interesting. I can't say that Ricardo and I wouldn't have a blast digging in and slicing and dicing.
That's right.
It just sounds like a good time.
That's right.
Well, I would love to come and share many other insights with you on what we're hearing from shoppers all over the US anytime you'd like.
Like you said earlier, there is so much happening with consumer behavior right now across so many different generations shopping right now at the same time. Having the consumer insights essentially coming in real time is just really, really such a good move for retailers to make sure that they have a pulse.
Yeah.
And they activate a pulse on any given moment.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And keeping current on the wave of consumer change and sentiment. So we're very happy to be on the journey.
Well, that does it for another edition of Retail Razor Blades. Thank you, Georgina.
Thank you so much for having me.